Does Cinnamon Toast Crunch sound good for breakfast to you? Ultra runner Courtney Dauwalter likes to have a big handful before she heads out on her long morning run. World record holder Eliud Kipchoge likes to have some banana, a slice of white bread, and some tea with milk and sugar. I personally like to have a gluten-free frozen waffle with nut butter. As you can see, all of these are different options. It matters what's gonna work for you, what you like in the morning, how much time you have. Let's break down all of the things you need to know to create that perfect individual pre-long run breakfast for you, everything you need to know. Now, if your runs are gonna be less than an hour, you can get away with not having any breakfast before your run. But if your runs are over that 60-minute mark, it's important that you get some fuel in. Why? For performance and mental alertness. So your 3 goals in fueling up before your runs are to help give you that fuel so you have the energy to complete that session as is prescribed by your coach or what's on your training plan. It's also to help with muscle adaptations and training adaptations. And it's also to give you that good natural mental boost, physical boost, so your energy reserves aren't spiking and crashing and you're falling short at the end of your session. I know there are some runners out there, I've talked to you and seen you and done it myself, that prefer to do their runs fasted. There are some potential benefits, whether that's weight loss or getting your body more fat adapted or being able to use fat as fuel, but I want to talk about why that's not always the best choice to make. It's fine for some of your runs if they're shorter or if they're easier or at that kind of recovery pace, but you don't want to be doing all of your runs fasted. You're going to be missing out on some potential speed gains, muscle and training adaptations, and you're also going to be depleting your glycogen stores. So if you have a run later in the day, or if you're going to be running tomorrow and have a hard session, you're starting from a deficit. I also want to point out that as a runner, you want to have what's called metabolic flexibility, meaning that your body has the ability to process and utilize carbohydrates. So if you're constantly training fasted, you lose that ability. And then you're potentially losing the ability to get energy, you're losing speed. So you really want to pay attention to not doing all of your runs fasted and making sure that you're selecting which runs you do and that you're doing the right ones. So now that I've convinced you that it's important to eat something before your runs, what should you be eating? Easy answer, a combination of carbohydrates and protein. I know carbohydrates are a buzzword these days, but they're important. That's your body's energy source. You need that for skeletal muscle contraction, you need it for brain function, and let's be honest, carbohydrates are good. They taste good, and there are a lot of options, great carbohydrate options for breakfast. Now, you're also going to want some protein in there because protein helps with training adaptations, it helps with building muscle, it helps with recovery, helps prevent like muscle deterioration and your body using your muscles for energy. If in the morning you've been fasted all night, your body is low on glycogen. It's stored in your muscles and in your liver, so you need to have some protein and some carbohydrates to fuel that run. Now, how much? It's kind of dependent on how long you're going to be running and your body size, digestibility. A general rule of thumb, if you're going to be doing a 60-minute run, is to start with about 1.3 calories per pound of body weight. So for a 135-pound female runner, that's between 175 and 200 calories. I know that a lot of you struggle to eat something in the morning or to eat something before you run. This shows that even something as little as 200 calories is enough to give you that fuel. You don't have to be doing waffles, scrambled eggs, bacon, toast, syrup. I mean, you can if that works for you, but you don't have to. So just getting something in before your run is important. So I believe there are 2 types of runners. There's the group that can eat a burger and fries or a burrito and head out for their run. Like laces up, they're good to go. They don't need any time for digestion. And then there's the other group of runners who need like 2 or 3 hours after they've had a piece of toast. It's important that you figure out which one of those groups you're in. You might know, you might suffer from kind of GI issues or cramping. If you need extra time, take extra time. If you can go and run right away, go for it. But figuring out that timing is important. There are some other things when you're making this pre-long run breakfast that you need to consider. You need to remember to hydrate. Coffee is good, but an electrolyte beverage is better, so be sure you're factoring that in. Also, choose foods that you like. If yogurt or cereal is your thing, go for it. Toast, whatever. If you don't just grab something because you feel like that's the runner's breakfast. If you hate oatmeal, don't have oatmeal, have something else. Also, you want to make sure that you're fueling properly for the run that you're going to be doing. So if it's a 2-hour kind of longer, easier run, you might be able to get away with eating a little more because you're going to be running at a slower pace, versus if you're going to do that track session early in the morning and you're going to be needing kind of some sprinting or really fast running in there, you want more simple carbohydrates, things that are going to give you that immediate boost of energy. All right, science into practice. I'm going to give you some examples, light, medium, and kind of a full breakfast option, right? We've done all this talking, now give me the suggestions on what to eat, make it easy for me. If you just want that light 200 calorie kind of snack or mini breakfast before going out for your run, that can be a banana or a banana with nut butter. That can be maybe a handful of granola. It can be some applesauce with protein powder mixed in, just something small so that you have something in the stomach to give you that energy. A medium-sized breakfast could be toast with almond butter and a banana put on top. It could be some yogurt, maybe with hemp seeds or dried fruit or nuts mixed in there. It could be a frozen waffle with maybe some maple syrup on it. Or if you're gonna have that full or bigger breakfast, if you've done a couple hours beforehand and you have time for it and you can digest it, that could be overnight oats. That could be, you could make yourself like a protein shake and some toast. It could be scrambled eggs with toast. Heck, it could even be leftovers from last night's dinner if that's something that you like and you know that it sits well on your stomach. Whether you eat a lot or a little, fueling before a run is like putting gas in a car. You need to have something in the tank in order to keep going, in order to have energy. Your breakfast, you want a fluid fueling plan, meaning it changes. It changes for different runs, it changes for different times, and it changes based on what you feel like eating that day. Now, if you want to dive a little deeper and geek out, I've done a whole video on nutrient timing to help you learn what to have and when to have, specifically for all different kinds of runs and throughout the day. Just click on that link. No, I don't. Fudge! Fudge! Cute!